Hello and welcome, and this is a chart update for ticker code XBY. I don't know if ticker code is the right word, but symbol code. And within such, everything of course within your own risk and your own reward. Long term to short term, all charts will be on that of a logarithmic scale. After all, a move from 10 to 20 is the same as going from 400 to 800. 2x gain. And that's how markets move, up 50%, 100%, or however much its volatility it has. All right. So then, after its first move, which came up to about 1600 and change, price action continuously went lower to like 200 and something. It then had a bear market rally, which of course topped, and then back spending ample time within such before having a small leg break higher than this. Definitely noticeable when this is the move higher, but it got up to this point and has obviously been in a downtrend ever since. Is it a good time to buy now? Is it over? What would be the better price? And my analysis I've been talking about for the last few months of between 5 to 600 is most certainly looking that it's playing into form as I thought it would. But let's now look at the market from November the 26th last year to January the 4th. And within such, it consistently was making higher highs and that of higher lows over and over and over again. The price action from 200 Satoshi and even opportunities to get small numbers below to well over 4,000 Satoshi, closer to even 5,000. Some tremendous opportunities. And this was the only time you had to profit take at the very larger levels, and even a little bit afterwards on the decline, of course. But if you don't take advantage of the rallies when they happen, well, the opportunity is lost. And then, of course, from this point on, which we'll now do a year-to-date chart for the next one, the time range December 31st to current May 4th. And Happy New Year to start, but again, as far as getting your greatest of prices in here, especially with Bitcoin declining as well with it. And then there was this little area here, but what do we see? This level of resistance or support is resisted here. How about this little area? And what's noticeable when you have a bit, and this is with any chart, but when you have a low come down really quick, like this, and then it rallies back really fast, that if you have that rally become unsustained, like was the case in this example, that it's not a surprise that when you come back down to that level, it doesn't rally much and it becomes a key level like it is shown in here. Resisted here and then resisted again during this time frame as well. So the pattern of higher highs or higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, definitely in place within this year-to-date chart. And then the next key level at a little under 1,000 Satoshi, or pretty much right at that number, really. It was supported. Now this one was big because it managed to get above this level of resistance and have a move in which supported this mark in here, ultimately of course failing. And then in this example here, it didn't rally much. It consolidated, it resisted it, established a new area of support amongst the way down, resisting it, testing it again, resisting it even further longer, not getting any rallies above it, but staying there for quite some time. And now here we can see its current price is staying there right now for a significant period of time. Let's do one more time frame shorter than this. And this is the last month, going from March the 5th to current. And so here we have the 1,000 mark again with its rally, the 1,000 mark, and how it's been resisted. So as this stands in place, I think the probability odds is that it goes to the target area that I've stated before, a couple months back at least. Well, I've known it for the whole time since the reversal's been happening, but between 500 to 600 is where I figure this thing can go down to. And I don't believe any rallies that'll come up towards this point. It's got a lot of work to do for the trend to revert, but of course when markets go, they go down a lot slower than they go up. Generally speaking, more times than not, you have more time to buy low than sell high. As we go back to the previous chart, it seems more common that you get situations like this, and even, of course this didn't go through, but just grinding lower for more times at the lower prices, where in here you didn't have as much time. You had a decent amount of time to make the sale. So I don't have any buy orders in other than some really cheap prices against Ethereum. I sold some Ether. Rather, I sold some extra bytes for Ether earlier this year. And then I sold some more. I sold 2 or 3 orders. I've gotten one of them back with a buy order, of course, lower than the highest sell point. Much lower. And my other buy orders are much, much, much lower. The equivalency of prices like through the roof, like, oh my goodness, what a great deal I'd be getting. And of course, Ethereum's going up right now, extra bytes going down. So I'm hoping soon that maybe the buy order will come in, and maybe it has, because I haven't even logged in for a couple of days, and that's on the CoinFalcon site. But for myself, I don't have any funds at this time on Cryptopia, but it's a great place to accumulate extra bytes if one is to do so, or distribute it for that matter as well. And I'd be looking again for price to go below 600. So what I'd have to do is just go through all my sales and buys, all my transactions from this point on both Cryptopia and CoinFalcon, and just be first amazed on how well I was able to do, as I've been able to liquidate on this decline. I was able to get out well decently north of the 1,000 mark, and then selling up here a decent amount. So I've had some good sales along the way. But I will be a buyer again, and I still own some, but the amount that I own compared to say say back at the start of this here, I own about 5%, 6%, 7% of what I owned back then. Literally, and then from what I've owned back in here, or even say back in here, I own, well, 10%, 15% of what I had beforehand. So I can make a decent size buy, which is why I want to go through the transactions, and I probably will make a decent size wager amongst it. Now, it could also even pierce below, and it can be a failed move, and this can be a high. And what would normally happen in a situation like this, if a coin is going to have a more multiple term bear market. I'd be expecting a fooled you type of rally where, okay, say this thing goes down to like say 487 or whatever, and then you get the I fool you rally, which is somewhere that might come up to like 1700, something like that, and then you're going to get some whatever action, and then it just goes down. So those are always possibilities. But if I'm able to buy at 500, then it's pretty easy if price action gets to 1500 to even sell very close to 1/3 of what I bought there up in here. Or 1/4, which is the vast majority of my purchase. Because if you're selling for 3 times higher, you can technically sell 1/3 of your buy and leave your remaining 2/3 on a free roll. But for me, the entire what I hold, and even for what I hold, is a free roll with this because of all the action that has taken place and the buying and selling throughout all of this time frame has ensured I've had very good profits along the way. But amongst the crypto space and all of the tremendous gains, and when I talk about this is the case with a lot, if not the vast majority of these coins, especially the ones that are not well known. And I don't think this is well known much at all. Interesting, I don't think JSnip4 has even ever talked about this, or anyone else on YouTube. I don't follow many people, so I've never heard really anyone talk about it. I did for whatever, I just bought a little book on Amazon one time about cryptocurrencies, recently written, well, at least when I bought it, talking about XBY as a play for 2018. Whether it is, and whether it is, that would be fantastic. It's got to get on an exchange like Bittrex and or Binance, or some sort of a higher volume exchange. In a situation like that, that would probably be very fantastic. Now, the news for such events like that would definitely distribute amongst the peeps. And I would guess, I don't know, at least in the first one, I would be very confident the price action would have significant rallies in the moments leading up to the Bittrex and or Binance arrivals. Now, a lot of times those codes come out in the market and they can sell off. It'd be interesting to see how it would play through, but of course for myself, I would instantly be sending coins to one and or those sites. But will it get there? I heard that it is working towards doing such. Whether it is actually going to, or whether they become successful is a better way of determining it. That would be the next interesting point within it. I'm not following any type of news groups or any type of forums or any Twitter post or anything of that nature, so I have absolutely no new information regarding this. But old information has worked out well in the past. For early on, when I was talking about this move in here, I mentioned that this was a big level. The next key level was around 3,200. But the 3,200 level, which is roughly around here, didn't play out until a half a year later because of the long duration of this down move. Which 250 bottom kind of worked out as well too, but that's neither, I was going to say that's neither here nor there, but actually it's there. So therefore, it takes a long time to get to those levels sometimes. So a move that takes 1 month to go from point low to point high is already now about 5 months in to point low. I'm still waiting again with a small amount held, and the small amount held is like insurance in case it doesn't go there and it goes way higher. At least I got some and I can continuously trade it amongst. So yes, thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.